Good morning. I'm Tim Holt with Excel Real Estate, and I want to start doing videos at least once a month to answer questions that I get from my clients, answer questions about homeownership and just real estate in general. I know there's other people doing the same kind of thing, but I feel like most of those videos are centered towards realtors themselves or towards people who are buying properties for investments and flips and things like that. They don't seem to answer general consumer questions because I still get the same questions from my customers, my clients. So I feel like if they were answering those questions, maybe we wouldn't have the same questions every time. So I want to kind of focus on that. As I said, I am with Excel Real Estate. We are minority owned, minority operated, and our main focus is helping minorities find home ownership. Minorities are grossly underrepresented in home ownership, and so that's one of our key focuses is ending that generational poverty, generational renting. When you own a home, you are building wealth, and you are building generational wealth, not just for yourself, but for your heirs and onward. When you rent, you'll never own. When you rent, you're always paying somebody else. When you own something, you're building equity. So you have wealth drawn into that home that you can, you have wealth built into that home that you can draw on down the road. So I do want to keep this intro under 5 minutes and just, kind of cover what I'm going to do in a longer video. And of course, I'll have the link in here. So if this answers your questions, great. If you're interested, you go to the longer video. Some of the things I wanted to cover were pre-approval letters, which is a key focus in of buying a home. Kind of is the first step. I wanted to answer questions that I'm getting from first-time home buyers, as well as what goes into home ownership, things that you might not have been expecting if you're a first-time home buyer, like general maintenance, yearly maintenance, what kind of loans are out there and available, what HOA fees are, and how they're typically paid, what comes into an inspection. And then I want to leave it open for questions for y'all as well, so you can put questions down in the comments. I'll respond to them in the next video. If I see a lot of questions, I'll just do another video addressing those specifically, but I still have scheduled videos that I'll do every month. Pre-approval letter is what you get from the bank stating that you likely can afford a home and how much home you can afford. It does take into consideration your credit, and it does take into consideration your debt-to-income ratio, and that's kind of the only factors that go into that. So that's a good time to find out, what your credit scores are, what you're looking at. Typically with loans right now, anything over 620 we can work with. I'm not a lender, so it does depend on the lender you choose. And who you choose for your lender. I mean, it's a huge factor in buying your home. It does matter a lot. You can go through your bank, you can go through a credit union, and there's more sort of traditional lenders out there that would be like Quicken Loans. I'm a big fan of Contour Mortgage. I work with Gavin. All realtors probably have lenders that they're biased towards, that they've had a good experience with, that help them, help their clients. So we'll kind of steer you that way, but it's ultimately up to you. A pre-approval letter is, like I said, is pretty much the first step because it tells the person who is selling that home, who's doing that listing, that you are qualified and that you likely can afford that home. There's a lot of showings that, they may not even let you do a showing without asking if you have a pre-approval letter, and they certainly won't accept an offer from you without a pre-approval letter in the offer showing that you can afford the home, because they don't want to accept an offer, leave the market, and then it falls through because you can't get approval. So again, pre-approval letter, definitely the first step. If you don't have a pre-approval letter, that doesn't mean you can't contact a realtor. We're absolutely here to help you. I answer questions for people all the time who aren't my clients, and ultimately they're not at that step where they can afford a home, but I can steer them in the right direction. I can help them with credit repair and things like that. Inspections are done on pretty much any property that you're going to be buying. Most lenders require them. And the inspection is paid for by the buyer once you're under a contract or the contract is being considered. A lot of sellers will have an inspection done before they put it on the MLS, and they'll attach that inspection to their listing, and that's fine. And it's a good thing to see because it gives you an idea of what you're getting into and that they've already taken care of some of the issues that may have been there. But it's not always up to date, so I do recommend that my buyers have an inspection done. They're not very expensive most of the time, and it gives you an idea of what hidden issues there may be in the home, and you can address them with the seller. And again, that all goes into the contract, so there's a lot of room in that. So HOAs are the homeowners association, and it is a fee that you pay, and it goes to an organization that makes sure that the neighborhood is held up to certain standards, that your home is held up to certain standards. I know people don't like them because they say they're intrusive, they're limiting. I want to do what I want to do with my home. And I understand that sentiment. I honestly have that sentiment myself. But an HOA helps preserve the value of your home by ensuring that the neighborhood is held up to a certain standard. And so the homes don't lose equity, they don't lose value. So, look at the HOA, read what it says. They're typically pretty short. If it's a huge packet, yeah, maybe move on, but it does depend on the house and how much you love it. But pay attention to those things, pay attention to what fees are and what they cover, and what the rules are within the HOA. I've seen HOAs that are 2 or 3 pages long that are just generally, you can't have farm animals, you can't have cars sitting in the front yard that aren't tagged and aren't running. And those are great. Those are things that really do help preserve the neighborhood and preserve the home values, and ensure that equity isn't lost and that it's not hard to sell your home because the neighborhood looks bad. But I've also seen some that tell you what color your house can be, what color your garage can be, what kind of mailbox you can have, how many cars can be in your driveway, how much noise you can make during the day, what your grill can look like. Those are things to consider. If it's not a concern for you, like if you look through the HOA and you say, "Yeah, I can agree to all those things," that's not really an issue. I've seen HOAs run from a couple dollars a month all the way up to I think it was $350 a month was the highest I saw, but that included a country club, golf course, tennis, all those things, pool. So see what the HOA covers, see what's in the HOA, and then determine whether or not that's right for you. I think that's kind of everything that I can cover quickly. And of course, I'll do a longer video that covers all of these things in more depth. But I wanted to keep this short just to have a quick intro, like I said, on who I am and what Excel Real Estate is, and what this video pertains. And I'll probably do the same thing next time as well. So thank you.